Hey, I'm your host, Rae Irelan, and you are listening to the Soul Aligned podcast, where we help high achieving leaders and driven visionaries do what you love and live your purpose. Welcome to episode number 17. Today, we're going to be talking about defining success beyond profit, what lights you up inside. So, I wanted to first start with the definition of success that I found on Google. It is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. It is the attainment of popularity or profit. It is a person or thing that achieves desired aims or attains prosperity. So there were three different ideas, even according to Google, around what the definition of success is. And so, okay, if Google can't even simplify it into one, how are we supposed to, right? There are different ways that we can look at success and define success, and also different ways that we can be striving for success in our lives. So I'll first share my story, which is really around, striving for success in this holistic way, right? I'm constantly on this search for how can I really feel successful? How can I really feel fulfilled? I think a part of it comes from growing up in the ballet studio and really just being told all the time, you will never be perfect as a ballerina. And so it's really all about constantly striving for that perfection. That's what can bring the ballerina into her fullest potential of always showing up, to the studio, to class, to shows, rehearsals, ready to see what's next, what's that next level of success that she can find. So I really brought that into my own life and brought that into my business of always, no matter what level of success I achieve, still desiring more. So, of course, you can see it from a really healthy perspective of it's really good to have that, that inner drive and that focus and stuff like that. But also sometimes it can get a bit skewed with what society calls successful. So for instance, I had a 6-figure launch, and during the 6-figure launch, I just remember, getting so excited. I couldn't believe that I was hitting these numbers. It was something that I had dreamt of, for a few years in my business. And it was just like, wow, this is actually happening. And this is so cool. I'm loving what I'm doing. I love the clients that I'm working with. And yet there still was this underlying piece of something still wasn't totally fulfilling in my heart and my soul. Maybe you've experienced that before. You've hit these higher numbers. You've, achieved some of these career goals and maybe some of these money goals that you've been reaching for, your whole life. And yet you get there and you're like, I still feel like the same me that I woke up with before I had this big launch. So sometimes money isn't actually what we're going for. And I think it's really important to look at that, right? It's not always about getting the quantity, it's also about the quality. And so when I was having this 6-figure launch, yes, I loved the clients I was working with, but I didn't love all of them. There were still some pieces that were out of alignment for me, or some pieces where I felt like, I don't know if they're the best fit, and they don't know either. And it was just feeling funky. And so really it showed me that I was actually going after the quantity and not the quality. But what I truly wanted was quality, not quantity. Deep down in my heart, sure, I was excited about hitting a 6-figure launch, but deep down, I wanted clients that could take what I have to offer and roll with it. I wanted to see them experience the results. And I wanted to have that fulfillment, knowing that I was being of full service and that the clients I was working with were actually utilizing what I was offering. I think a lot of times we can get so excited about maybe the results we're creating, but the bigger question is, what are the results that you're creating for other people? That's what's more important. So similar to food, right? If we're hungry and we just eat a lot of what's right in front of us, that doesn't guarantee that we will be totally satisfied. The funny thing is sometimes we'll eat a bag of chips, right? And then realize like, oh, I actually want like a full meal with like protein and veggies and carbs and all of that. And so you're left feeling unsatisfied. But really the funny thing in this situation is that sometimes you maybe eat that big full meal and then you're like, wait, I actually still feel like I'm not satisfied. I still want that bag of chips because you're wanting something salty and crunchy and crispy. And so, really, the point of it is that we must be willing to adapt our definition of success. You want to find something that can be soul fulfilling and in each moment. We are growing, shifting, changing beings. How can our definition of success be the same? I can definitely say when I was younger, my definition of success was, selling 5 albums in one day. Oh my gosh, if I could do that when I was busking on the street, like that was like an amazing day. We're like, wow, we're gonna go out to an awesome dinner and celebrate. And yet, like, if I sold 5 CDs today, I'd be like, okay, cool. I wish there were like, a few more zeros on the end of it. I wish there were more people listening to the music, not just 5. So it shifts and it changes. Also, I used to have a higher definition of success relying on the money. Now it's like, well, if the money comes in, I still want my lifestyle. Like, I'm not willing to give up the hours of my day or work with people that I don't like if I'm going to be making the money I want. I'm not willing to make that exchange, right? So as we grow, we start to understand, what are we willing to exchange for that success? And so I want to kind of hone in on, like, how can we get into this place that we are living soul fulfilling? And that's how we create our success. So step 1 is to really connect with what lights you up. This way you are becoming more aware and understanding while being in an empowered state, right? When you are lit up, then you can make decisions based off of what is truly going to be of service. You're already feeling full. So it's just about, okay, how can I expand? How can I grow from this state? It's not about, oh shoot, like I'm feeling really minimal and I need help. I need like to reach out for something outside of myself. And so if you don't know where to start with step 1, with connecting with what lights you up, the best way to do this is to go back and to start thinking about when you were younger, when you were a kid. What used to light you up? Was it going to the beach and playing on the boogie board? Was it reading a good book? Was it riding your bike through the neighborhood? Was it playing games? Was it drawing? This is a great starting point for your adult self to begin to remember your bliss and how to tap into that. And I work with my clients so much on integrating their little kid into their adult self. A lot of times we're like, oh, I outgrew that. I'm done with that phase. I'm into this new phase of hard work and I need to make money. And you know what? That hasn't gotten any adult anywhere that I would define as successful. Right? It's not a worthy exchange to give up your health, give up your happiness, give up your bliss. So how can you bring these elements of your childhood into your current state? I have one client that loves to draw. She loved to draw as a kid. Has she drawn as an adult? No, she hasn't drawn for like 10, 15 years. And that's totally normal for her. And so what I suggested her to do was to just put a piece of paper and some colored pencils in different parts of her house. So maybe one on her coffee table, one on her table in her kitchen, one in her bedroom, so that way she can just pick it up and play around and have it there without any like necessary commitment and just ease and play. So that is step 1. Step 2 is to really start with an awareness of what you are truly wanting and needing. So this can be a desire, something that you want, or it can also be something that you need. It's really important to differentiate these two in this step, so that way you can know, what do you need? Like, what is necessary for you to be living right now, and what is like a desire? What would make life like more juicy and fun and playful? So we're all human. It's great to take extra time before going after something that isn't truly aligned without like questioning, okay, wait, what's happening? So take time in this process to really understand where you sit, and then you'll be able to make informed decisions from there. And then that leads us right into step 3, which is to take aligned and inspired action. And that's where you get to just go for it, you know, do that thing that you want to do. And that is really what's going to create the most success in your life and the most holistic success. So go for it, have fun, that's where you get to really trust and take everything that you've been building towards and just know, okay, this is my decision based off of, and a very informed decision based off of what feels solely fulfilled to me. And then you get to go from there. And then step 4 is super important. That's where you get to come back to your bliss. You circle back to step 1. And you do that because you really want to be in this place where you're living life, you're doing your work, you're being of service in a way that is great for others and for yourself. So once you understand the basics, you see that success is really this sandwich between what lights you up, right? Bliss is on both sides of it. If you can do this in every area of your life, you'll achieve greater success in a way that is personally, professionally, financially, and impactfully soul fulfilling. And then you get to beam that, you get to share that, you get to spread that with everyone that's around you. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. And if you want to check out more videos, then go ahead and tap the screen right there. I'll see you next time.